Hello everybody, this is YDYT, and I would like to welcome every single one of you back to a brand new episode of MinasCraft. So we are back here again, guys, working on this crazy project of the Guardian Farm, which is taking longer than I had hoped, because normally when I do big projects, they're not incredibly repetitive. This one, on the other hand, has been incredibly repetitive, and so it's just been so mundane. But I've got all of the squares set out now, and I have tested one of them, and cleared the water fine. So I'm going to hop right into a time-lapse right now of me putting all these squares in. You probably won't see all of them, because I mean, like, that time-lapse would be ages if you did. Me putting all the squares in, testing that one, and then I guess we'll be back. While you guys are doing that, I think I'm just going to clear the rest of these, because it's going to be so mundane for you guys to watch me take out my sponges, place my sponges, remove the sponges, and do it again. Like, it's just not fun. So I'm going to get all of this done, and then we're going to be right back with a Guardian Farm that doesn't have any water in it, hopefully. Unless things go very wrong. But yeah. We'll be right back. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed all of that. So I think that project's going really well. However, I'm a bit bored of it for now, as I've finished draining the whole thing, which I'll show you later. But I'm a bit fed up of working on it, so I figured I'd come out here and work on the next planned project for the bunker, which we're going to need to destroy a good bit of land for. Because, as you can see, we've got a hole here, we've got a hole over here, which we just flew out of. So I'm going to work on this a bit. So I've got a plan for our next farm. There's a quick spoiler for you if you want to figure it out. But first we're going to need to blow a giant hole. And I'm not digging it because I've dug them every other time and I want to try doing something else. So for anyone who doesn't know this area, this is where all of the farms that I've got in the world, like, all congregate right to, I guess, other than like the iron farm, which doesn't work, and we'll be working on a new one soon, don't worry about that. But this is the bunker, so we've got a gunpowder farm, as you can see, working. We've got a string farm. We've got a melon and pumpkin farm. Good, don't need to do any crafting right now. We've got a slime farm. And we've got a skeleton farm. So the skeleton farm is going to be something I'm also going to work on very, very soon. Oh, why is this all here? But yeah, I've got a bunch of farms here, and we're gonna keep working on these as they're, well, quite useful to have. So I was originally going to actually do a wither skeleton farm right now. However, I realized that I'm running out of rockets so often that it's gotta be a sugarcane farm. So I was thinking about designs, and my friend denoobz has got a really, really good design, and I figured we'd use that because it's really smart because it uses cactus to harvest the sugarcane, which sounds really fancy, and it's kind of fancy, but it's fancier than, like, it sounds fancier than it is. It's really, really clever. So the design's going to be down in the description below. Oh, I missed it. I need a proper way in and out here. There we go. So I'm going to, like, make it day and everything, and then we're going to start building a TNT Flying Machine thing that's going to make us a really big hole. Okay guys, so I should have everything we need in order. Oh my god, I got really low from that. But here we are. I've loaded up a schematic of the TNT Flying Machine thing we're going to be using. I'm going to be using Ilmanga's design because his designs are really good, and I asked Magoo's recommendation and he said that he would use this design, so this is what we're going to use. So we're going to need our redstoning stuff, which is why I've got R1 and R2, my redstoning boxes, with me. I hate if these things don't burn. So I'm going to super quickly build this whole thing up, which shouldn't take long at all. If I just hop right on up here. So for anyone who doesn't know, schematic is a really, really good mod for doing redstone-y things in it, because, well, you can just see where you need to put everything, and it makes everything nice and simple. So I'm going to be using it for this, and then I'm going to get all this built up, and I'll be back with you guys in just a moment. Okay guys, we're back. So I think I've got everything. Hopefully I do. It worked in my initial test. Let me just fly, make sure that this isn't too close to anything. Looks all good. So I think we'll do a test and click the button first rather than the lever. And if this works, then everything's good. Okay. So far, that looks good. And then we'll all fly back, okay? Okay, so it looks to, these are just ghost blocks, and then each one should drop another TNT. Yeah. Let's just see. Got a bit close over here, but it'll never fall far enough down to do any damage to that. So I guess we can flick the lever and see how well it works. Like, if it just keeps going. So far it's looking all good. Yeah, I don't see any issues there. And then I'll just go again. Okay. Yeah, so it doesn't look like any problems are occurring. So I'll AFK until this is done, and then I'll be back. Okay, so that whole thing has run, and it now goes down to YDYT, and there was only a tiny bit of damage, and that was this, which will be very easy to fix. So yeah, that worked absolutely brilliantly, honestly. Way better than I could have thought. Is that a spawner? Or, well, it was a spawner. Okay, so that all worked really well, so I'm going to take this whole thing down now, and then we shall be back. Okay guys, we're back. So it looks like we've got a couple minutes left, so we might as well make the most of those. So we're going to be carrying on with this project, and we're going to actually start working on the actual sugarcane / cactus farm, which I think is a really brilliant design, and hats off to denoobz for coming up with it. So we're going to start by getting some nice blocks in, which we're going to use to put sand on, which we're going to use to grow cactus. Ugh, pickaxe is too good. Okay. Oh, no. Gotta angle this right then. There we go. And then I believe we're going to put some sand on top of that. So let me grab out a sandbox. And we'll just grab a little bit of that and make sure we've got some string, because we're going to be using some string. So I haven't really watched too far ahead in the tutorial, so I hope I've got everything I need, because if I don't, we're going to have a problem. But for now we should be good. And I'm obviously building this with sandstone because we're in the middle of a desert. So we're going to then put our cactus on top. And I need more cactus, don't I? Wait, let me check the tutorial and see what's going to happen next. Okay, I've just had a quick look, and it looks like we're going to be putting cactus next to each of these. So I think I'm going to put temporary blocks so I can get all of that in, because obviously I don't really have cactus, hence the need for a cactus farm, which there isn't really much need because it's kind of a useless farm in all honesty, unless you're building with green stuff. But like, it's a 2-in-1 farm, and I've got 2 chests left in the area, so I might as well like give it a go. So that's what I'm going to do. So there we go, and then it's going to be a piece of sand on top of each of these pieces of cactus. So I'm just going to hop up here. Lovely. Okay, so I actually was planning on building this ages ago on here, like absolutely ages ago, because I needed a farm for sugarcane. But then, for whatever reason, I put it off, and then I put it off again, and then we had the whole tree farm fiasco, which, for anyone who doesn't know, that's the reason this series stopped. So basically, this is also the reason I have so many resources. So basically, I decided I was going to build a mangoes tree farm. Good plan, everything's going well. I've never had a problem with any of his designs. I use his stuff regularly, it's all good. So I built a farm, spent hours and hours on it, took ages, doesn't work. Okay, like, I can deal with it, I'll build it again. Did it, I built it 3 times, it didn't work any of the times. So then I did a lot of thinking, and ultimately I decided, hey, I have all the resources, I'm gonna use a mod to build it for me, and then destroy all the resources. I do that, yeah, it doesn't work. Okay, that's a problem. So then I decide I'll spawn it in with world edit, destroy all the resources, because I've built it like enough already. I don't want to try again, and it doesn't work with world edit. And so I spawn in all the resources, like I bring them all back, using the exact amount of numbers of stuff that were needed, so that I make sure I don't like spawn anything I didn't have. And then I'm just so demotivated at this point, because that video had 4 or 5 weeks of work put into it already, and it's like, that's all gone, like, forever, and I wasn't cool with it, so I was like, I'm taking a break, might be back someday, and as you can pretty clearly tell, it is back. I'm just going to grab cactus from up here. This is a much smarter idea than waiting for that one to grow. So I'm aware we're supposed to use leaves at some point in this. I don't have a ton of leaves. I think I've got some, but I'll need to go leaf farming, which should be very fun, obviously. So this farm's going to be pretty huge. Like I'm not settling for something small here. I've done small farms on here like the melon and pumpkin, which produce more than my current needs. However, in the very near future, once we get onto villager trading properly, that farm is not going to cut it. But maybe it will. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so plenty more. Wrong hole. It's this one. Okay. Ah! Falling. Okay, so let's see. So there. Yeah, walking like this is not going to be fun. There. And there. And finally there. Temp block, skeleton. Nope. Behind a wall somewhere. And then we'll do these. Perfect. Okay, so that's all of the cactus in. So I'm going to go see what we have to do next. Okay, so it looks like the way denoobz is doing it is he's doing all of the cactus first. So I'm going to build this up as high as it's going to go, which is going to be all the way up there. And then we'll be back, and hopefully by then we'll have tons of cactus to fill it all in. Okay, so I've looked ahead a bit in the tutorial, and it looks all pretty easy, except we're going to need a wall, like a glass wall. And I kind of want to go with some good old green glass to like match the theme of the build, which is fine. Where are they? Go away. Which is fine, except for the small issue that I don't have any green dye except these 10 cactus. So I think I'm going to leave this running. We're going to... this shouldn't be like this, it'll be fixed at some point. Turn that on. Wait, it was on. I'm pretty sure it was on. Okay, I'll check in a minute. Turn that on. All the farms should be running. We're going to break a hole. Not those two. Those two are bad. We're going to break a... We're going to break a hole in here. And we're going to come right up these stairs. And once we get to the top, I'm going to AFK here. So, I guess we'll round it off then, and we'll come back the next one, standing right here and see all the good stuff we got. So, if you guys did enjoy, please do drop a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll be sure to catch you in the next one. Peace.